Wemby versus Jokic was, oh my gosh, that was an absolute show. What an incredible game tonight. The Spurs win in Denver. And honestly, I think Wemby got the upper hand in this matchup. Now, there is a lot to talk about from this game. This video is not breaking down really any specific team or player. I'm going to bounce around. I'm going to talk about both the Nuggets and the Spurs. I'm going to talk about both Wemby and Jokic, good and bad, from this game. But before we hop into it, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 2,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I'm uploading every single day, multiple NBA videos a day. We'd really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. Let's talk. So first things first, Spurs win 113-110. Wemby, 14 of 21, 4 of 6 from 3, 35 points, 18 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, and his biggest flaw, by far, 8 turnovers. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. Jokic on the other side, most inefficient game I've seen from him in a very long time. 15 of 36. When is the last time Jokic ever shot 36 shots in a game? I'm not sure. I don't know. With that being said, he had 41, 18, and 9. I mean, good freaking Lord. Jamal Murray with a bad game tonight. Michael Porter Jr. was good. Christian Brown was decent. They got almost no contribution from their bench. Peyton Watson was not good tonight offensively at all. Julian Strawther was pretty good. He had 3 threes, but he was the only player off the bench to really make any sort of real contribution whatsoever to this team. Really, really rough loss for the Nuggets, though, and another loss that is very, very indicative of the lack of depth of this team. Yes, they didn't have Aaron Gordon, but they clearly have serious depth concerns, and this is a loss that, again, is the type of loss that you go, oh, this is not good. Defensively, they were not good enough. Offensively, down the stretch, they were not good enough. There wasn't enough movement off the ball, not enough cutting, not enough just proper spacing. Like it just felt like a bad performance down the stretch from the Nuggets. I mean, they were up. I don't forget exactly what the score was, but they were up by 5 or 6 with just like a minute or like 2 minutes remaining, something like that. Julian Champagnie gets a absolutely butt naked wide open 3, knocks that one down. Wemby had so many clutch buckets down the stretch, but what leads to it is he catches the ball 3 feet behind the 3-point line. 3 Nuggets players lunge at him and close out and give up the easiest just dump off pass to Keldon Johnson for an easy layup, in which of course he gets fouled too. Not only did you not just let him make the layup, you had to foul him. So they take the lead off of that instead of it was a 5-point game and they got obviously a 3 for Champagnie, and then that and 1 for Keldon Johnson gives them a 1-point lead. They come back down the court, and Wemby does this. I'm going to full screen just for a second here to show y'all what actually, you know what? I'm not going to. We're just going to look at it here. Wemby makes this play. I know it's small, but look at this defense. Oh no, I need to full screen. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I cannot not show this play in full screen. Look at this play defensively by Wemby. Jokic, you know what he likes to get to. Late in the game, he's looking for a game winner right here. He's posting up, and he's going to the fall away. Keldon Johnson's coming to double. He's not going to overpower Wemby. He's going to this fall away. There's not another player in the world that's getting to that shot the way that Wemby just did. I know it's blurry. I know the quality isn't perfect. That's a block. Forces Jokic to pass out of it, trying to swing it to MPJ instead of shooting it. It's a late pass. It's a forced pass. It's a turnover. And then Devin Vassell does one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. 3 seconds left in the game, and you dunk it with 1.7 left. Not only that, the Nuggets then promptly have a timeout left, don't call it, could have advanced the ball for a catch and shoot 3 to tie the game. And instead, Jamal Murray immediately inbounds the ball to Michael Porter Jr., who catches the ball at half court, shoots up a very, 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 very hard 3 and is unable to hit, unsurprisingly. I mean, so much to unpack in freaking 15 seconds worth of basketball. But like Wemby defensively, there's not another player in the world that's making this play. Jokic is shooting this ball. He is shooting this ball. He's shooting this ball. Oh, shoot, I'm not shooting it anymore. Panics. Last second tries to pass the ball. I don't blame him. There's not a player in the world that's making this pass. I don't care if you're Nikola Jokic. He's not making this pass. Tries to force a pass super late. Vassell with the steal. I mean, the pass actually wasn't, all things considered, considering, I'll just say this. I know it's turnover. Considering he didn't decide to pass the ball until right there. The fact that it was close, it was high and it was over here. But the fact that it was decently close is kind of impressive, all things considered. Throwing it over Wemby. But yeah, confusing decision-making here from both Vassell and then especially from the Nuggets. Not calling a timeout to advance the ball there is baffling. I truly don't know what you're thinking or what you're seeing. Like, that made no sense whatsoever. for that to be the final play of the game. But that's beside the point at the end of the day for what I'm saying in this video. Like, this was an absolutely immaculate game tonight. It was a really, really fun game to watch. And more importantly, it was a game that made very, very, very clear that Wembanyama is not just, I mean, I talked about this recently. Wemby is not just next up. He is here right now, and the Spurs have the assets to make moves to surround him with guys that could make them a contender. This team, when Wemby plays, and with Chris Paul added into the fold, who I think has been huge, despite the fact that CP can't freaking jump, he's not as efficient as he once was. He still doesn't turn the ball over, makes the right play every single time, and is gonna, I mean, he's the winningest player on the team by far. The Spurs are 19 points per 100 possessions better when Chris Paul's on the court. That's absurd. Like, that's legitimately right at the top of the league in on-off numbers, and he's 40 years old almost. Like, CP has been a huge, huge asset for this team, but Wemby, dude, I don't know what you do about a 7'4" dude who's the best defensive player in the world and is shooting the ball. I mean, in the last 2 months, he's averaging like 29, 12, 4 blocks, 40-something% from three. Like, just this dude, I'm not trolling at this point. I think he's one of the 5 best players in the world. I think I don't know how you don't say he is. He just went up against the best player in the world in the best player in the world's home and straight up outplayed him. I don't care that Jokic had more assists and more points. Jokic shot 36 shots in large part due to the impressive high-level defense that Wemby played. Did Jokic get great help from his teammates? No, not really. Do I care that much? Not for the sake of this specific argument. No. I mean, we would have helped Jokic to get more help from his teammates. But look, he was thoroughly outplayed by a 20-year-old tonight. Maybe not thoroughly outplayed, but he was outplayed by a 20-year-old tonight. And that 20-year-old happens to be the best defensive player in the world. Whereas Jokic on defense does this. Let's watch this play. We need to go back to full screen actually real quickly. Let's go back to full screen and let's watch this play. Jokic, he can't move his feet at all. He just gets blown right past. This dude is atrocious defensively. Nobody can tell me. I'm so sick of hearing people whine about Luka's defense when Luka is way better defensively than Jokic is. Jokic provides no rim protection. It was clear in the game winner against Anthony Simons hit a couple like last week or week and a half ago, whenever that was, for the Trailblazers over Jokic. There's no rim protection whatsoever for Jokic. And then also, look, this dude, he can't step out on the perimeter at all. He's got no mobility. Is he the most talented offensive player maybe in the history of the sport? Yes. Is he also just straight up a bad defender at this point who does not protect the rim, doesn't really prevent offensive rebounds as well as he should, and can't move his feet at all on the perimeter? Absolutely. I mean, let's not sit here and gas Jokic at all in that aspect, because he does not deserve it. Like, plain and simple, this dude, he was getting attacked by Zach Collins tonight down the stretch. 2 or 3 possessions in a row. The Spurs went to Zach Collins when Jokic was on the court, when Wemby was on the bench, and Zach Collins scored on Jokic twice. Like, that's my biggest frustration with Jokic, is that he just does not get the same treatment that Luka does when it comes to the screaming at the refs, when it comes to the complaining, when it comes to the poor defensive moments. Jokic just quite simply does not get the same treatment from the media as Luka does. I don't know why, because Luka is a better defender than Jokic is. And I don't even think it's all that close at this point. I mean, I've watched Luka play a ton this season. The dude is legitimately a good defender. Every time I watch Jokic play, I go, oh my gosh, this dude is awful on the defensive end of the court. I get that he's the greatest offensive player of all time, but dude, the Nuggets are not going to win anything that matters this season because they're not good defensively, because they're not deep. And here's the truth, y'all. The Spurs aren't particularly deep, but Julian Champagne's been really good. Keldon Johnson's been good as of late. Trey Jones is a decent backup point guard. Chris Paul's been a huge addition. Harrison Barnes is a veteran with a lot of experience and a good player. Stephon Castle has a ton of promise. Devin Vassell's playing well and is a legit, he may not be a serious co-star, but he's a third guy. If they were to get De'Aaron Fox, I understand that would mean CP comes off the bench. That would change the dynamics of this team pretty dramatically in some ways. If they got De'Aaron Fox and CP was cool with it and they could just integrate everything properly, this team could become a championship contender this season. That's how impactful Wemby is. And tonight's game just made me think, dude, I'm a Mavs fan and I'm a Luka fan, right? Obviously. I'm scared that Wemby's just going to rule the league for the next decade. And it's just like, sorry, Luka, sorry, Jokic, sorry, Giannis, sorry, Shea. Y'all are all going to get passed up by this Wemby dude. Like, plain and simple. He is the greatest player I have ever seen with my own two eyes in a lot of ways. And he's 20 years old. I don't even think I'm exaggerating, bro. I get he's not there yet. I get the turnovers are a big issue. That's his biggest flaw right now is when he dribbles the ball, it's just, and I think it's in large part because of how big he is and how tall he is. The ball has to travel so far to get to the floor. That's where most of his turnovers come from, it seems like. Russ was trying to take advantage of that down the stretch in the game tonight and did a couple times. Smart defense by Russ, but like he turns the ball over way too much. He's got to figure out a way to cut down on the turnovers. Maybe he needs to dribble a little bit less so as to create less opportunities for them. But he's the most generational player I think we've ever seen besides LeBron James. And like, that's the level of generational that Jokic looks like he's going to be on. It is ridiculous how good this dude is on both ends of the court. And he outplayed the best player in the world tonight. We aren't that far away from, I think, Wemby being the best player in the world. Let's just put it that way. That dude is unbelievable. And he's just must-see television, especially when he's playing against a top team and a top player like Jokic. So I hope y'all did enjoy this game. It was really fun to watch. And I just thought I needed to make a video talking about this game, talking about both teams, good and bad. I hope this doesn't come across too much as Jokic bashing. I'm just frustrated about the media more than anything else when it comes to Jokic. He's an incredible player. I just think his defense is, he gets credit for defense and he's a terrible defender. I don't get it. Either way, hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more NBA content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.